Alright guys, so with the release of Shadow Milk Cookie as well as Candy Apple Cookie, we are going to be updating the PvP tier list for January 2025. And of course, with it, we are going to be following it up with the PvE tier list as well. But let's get into the PvP tier list first. And of course, this is going to be based on my opinion as well as my experience and with the current testing that we have done few days after the release of these cookies. So let's get into it quickly, and starting off with the D tier, of course, it's going to be same as always from Sonic to Tiger Lily. Still waiting for some of the magic candies of these cookies to see if they are going to have a revival or not. And then C tier is going to be from Chili Pepper all the way down to Cherry Blossom as well. Some of these cookies again have magic candies, but most of them we are waiting for them to see if they're going to be better. And then we have B tier from Kumio all the way down to Crunchy Chip. And then we do have Almond and Golden as Mathis. And again, these cookies too, some of them do have magic candies, but most of them we're hoping to see if they do receive one and they make it better. And of course, someone that I am personally looking out for is going to be Cotton Cookie. And then next we have our A tier, and A tier is going to be from T-Night all the way down to Space Donut, and then Mango down to our BTS. Alright, so some of these cookies, you have seen them inside of the meta way back, when it was a lot easier in a sense because epic cookies were there. But nowadays, these cookies are going to explode. They don't do that much damage. Their skills are just not as unique as they would want to be if they want to be inside of the meta. So we have these, and then we have the S tier now. We're going on to the S tier to show you guys that these cookies are decent. They're pretty good, but of course, inside of the current arena, excluding the epic only, these cookies are going to have some trouble, and some of them I have brought them down from the SS tier as well. So we are going to be from Crimson Coral all the way down to our Caramel Arrow, and then we have Creme Brulee all the way down to Choco Drizzle. So some of the cookies that I have brought down is going to be Camellia as well as Wildberry. We have Matcha and then Creme Brulee as well. So I have brought some of these cookies down from the SS tier just because of the fact that compared to the ones that are going to be in the SS tier now, these cookies are honestly going to be very, very hard to use. They are kind of quote-unquote viable, but again, compared to the meta cookies as well as even the SS tier, these cookies are going to have a harder time surviving. Like their survivability, overall survivability is pretty tough, and their usage compared to some of the other cookies are just not going to be as effective. I have brought up Peppermint from A tier to the S tier as well, so that's going to be a thing. I would say out of these supports, like these three may be pretty good support, like Star Coral, Peppermint, and Peach Blossom, but again, they do explode, so just keep those things in mind. And then now on to the SS tier is going to be surprisingly, but not surprising if you guys have watched my video, but it's going to be from Mystic Flower all the way down to Moonlight Cookies. So the meta has definitely been simplified with the new update, and this has been a thing since pretty much last season as well, where the safeguarded cookies are coming back into the meta while Mystic Flower is going to come down slowly because of the fact that Mystic Flower's survivability is honestly not very great. Right, she explodes really quickly, and either she takes up like the feather buff like without even being able to use her skill in the beginning, or with now Shadow Milk, she just kind of explodes instantly. So she's not as strong as she used to be. So that's the reason why we are moving her from the meta tier all the way down to the, not all the way down, but down to the SS tier now. And then we do have the epic tanks that are kind of surviving still, that are, in my opinion, still SS tier is going to be Finished Tier and Burnt Cheese. Some of you guys may still be like, oh, these cookies are overrated, but because of the fact that they still have their debuff immunity and they do have a relatively fast cooldown, especially Burnt Cheese, they are still going to be viable, especially if you guys just don't have like Burning Spice, or you don't have Awakened Dark Cacao, and even Stormbringer and things like that. And then we do have some of the supports as well as healer that are going to still be decent, and that's gonna be Parfait with the debuff immunity and all the buffs from the Magic Candy and the Pure Vanilla. And I did bring down Rebel as well as Moonlight and Latte because the one-shot comps are still, I would say, in testing right now, but most of them are going to be not as good as they used to be, especially Latte's 2-second start cooldown, because of the fact that Shadow Milk naturally already has 2-second start, and that kind of prevents a lot of the Latte comps from actually being effective too. And then Moonlight, of course, because of the fact that now you have Shadow Milk, you know, Moonlight also does naturally come down from the team. So of course, like these two cookies, if there is like a certain comp, even Moonlight too, like a one-shot comp, these are essential combinations. So we'll have to see if those are going to come back into the meta as well with the release of maybe even the new one-shot comp, but that is going to be it. And then for the meta tier is going to be from Burning Spice all the way down to Wind Archer. So for this one, where Wind Archer is going to be quote-unquote meta, I would say that I leave that up to you guys. Wind Archer is still the most viable if you don't have Shadow Milk, and there are still Wind Archer comps that are going to beat some of the Shadow Milk comps as well. But just realize that Wind Archer is the one taking the hit right now from the 4 out of the 4 that, you know, we had been using. So we have Mystic Flower already gone. Now Wind Archer is the second in line right now, so I will keep him in meta as of right now. But of course, Shadow Milk, our latest cookie, is going to be added into the meta tier. I would say right now the supports or the healer, Icicle Yeti and Snapdragon, are the 2 best, and then people still use Cream Ferret here and there. Of course, you are going to need a lot more survivability with Cream Ferret, because now you have Shadow Milk to instantly pop this cookie if they are not able to use their skill right away. Alright, and then of course, now that we have added Shadow Milk into the meta tier, we're going to add Candy Apple. And in my opinion, Candy Apple inside of the arena, it's a little difficult, but I always say either S or A tier. I would say I'm going to leave this up to you guys, and as of right now, I'm just going to leave it at A tier. But because of the fact that the skill is super slow, and in my opinion, as a bomber, she is pretty darn squishy. She does have a pretty unique skill of having the weakness debuff and also able to kind of dodge while she is using her skill. But just it takes like about 4 or 5 seconds to even activate her skill properly, and then she does explode pretty quickly inside of the arena. So there is that. Maybe in my opinion, like with certain exceptions, maybe we could put her into S tier. So I will leave that up to you guys in the comment section to let me know what you guys personally think. I did test it out. It does work here and there. Of course, it's not a meta cookie. It's not really that strong, not that viable, so that's gonna be it. But pretty much that's gonna wrap it up for the PvP tier list as of right now for January 2025. It is mid-January, and we most likely will get one more cookie before the end of this month. So we'll see how it goes, but you know, let me know down in the comments below what you guys think, and if you guys have anything that you want to comment, change, or discuss with me, you guys could also leave that in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video.